Recording is in progress. Welcome to another installment of the amazing Opinions Are Stupid situation. Jason and me, myself. And Jason wants to make fun of me for making pizza. I make pizza.
No, it just shows me how, multi-dimensional you are. One day you're doing pizza, one day it's like tacos, you're all over the place. You're constantly evolving.
Place, folks. Yeah, I realized that I like to cook. So that's been the thing now. It's me enjoying me enjoying my head being too big. I enjoy cooking. And it's been something that I've been enjoying for a while now, and it's shocking because, the kitchen was off limits to me.
Right.
Most of the time that I was living with my wonderful ex-wife. She just felt that it was her. I mean, it's not like I couldn't cook or she like shooed me out or whatever, but that kitchen was hers, and that was fine, But now I'm making myself grilled cheese sandwiches with my panini press.
Nice. So cooking, no baking, because baking is another level.
I bake, man. I made myself a carrot cake. It fell apart. It was terrible, but it was delicious. A lot of fun. I'm gonna make another one. I'm gonna make a cake soon. I'm gonna make some cookies.
So are we gonna have a bake off one day on the show where we just like break down our best?
Nailed it. That doesn't look like. No, you didn't. I gotta get some fondant. You guys ever watch those baking shows? By the way, baking shows, even when they're competitions, fucking relaxing. I don't know about you. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. Look at that. That's just gonna do that.
Right. It's so true. It's because everybody's rushing and doing crazy stuff and throwing things across the room, and you're just sitting there and just enjoying it all. That's it. There's no pressure on you.
Gonna make it happen. It's gonna be.
There's no pressure on you, right?
No pressure at all. It's not like Iron Chef. They're like hog teats. Oh my god, what are they gonna do with that? I don't know.
Yeah, right.
That's some stuff, and you're like,
how do they make a hamburger out of electric eel? How is that possible?
Turkey eel, they ground it up in the grinder, and then now it's a hamburger. What do you think?
Exactly.
It's like eel. You did it. You did it. So quickly, some family business because it's funny. My brother sent us in a group chat pictures.
I saw this
of something. We're like, what's going on? It's like he has like a picture of a car, the highway. We're not sure what's happening.
Right.
And our cousin's like, where are you going? And he's like, then he puts down the tour dates of where he's going in Texas. El Paso.
Like he's in a concert.
All right. Coming to El Paso, Austin, Dallas. I'm like, all right. This is so fun.
But he's had the itch of moving down there for a little while. He's mentioned it to me a couple of times.
I think he should do it. You know why?
You think so?
Because Texas and him are crazy. Like they just go together.
There's some truth to that.
I can't live there. I can't live in a state that's taking away every single right that I have. Except now, in Texas, you're gonna let you walk around with a gun without a license. I guess you can just buy a gun now. Cool. I don't understand. Like to me, it's like, and we're gonna talk politics for a minute, but I'm not gonna.
Right.
It's interesting how, for some reason, in a lot of these GOP dominated states, they're all about these. They want to make you into this populace that's like controlled, right?
Right.
You gotta work no matter what. You gotta work. It's like what? What if something happens? Oh no, can't have any kind of unemployment. Gotta work. That's a new thing now. Florida just killed unemployment again for people, and they're just killing it. And it's like some of these things should be out of states' hands. Unemployment should be out of states' hands. Tennessee just passed a law that kicked off a whole mess of people from homeless kids from their heartbeat law that kicked off a whole mess of kids off of Medicaid. It's like these things should not be state controlled.
Right.
Period. I know that this is how LBJ got it passed, right? For stuff like unemployment insurance and whatever. It's like states control that, and then whatever. You know why? Because states, on the level of states, there's all this level of corruption, especially in the South, where this money is supposed to be used for something, ends up being used for other things, like anti-abortion shit and whatever. We've seen this happen. Right. This has to stop because we should be helping the populace, not, I don't know, whatever the fuck these guys are doing instead.
You're going against states' rights, because that's what they're going to tell you, that you're going against states' rights and you're going against the Constitution, the Federalist Papers, breaking up, the power between the state and
there is tons of stuff that the federal government does that is federal, right? And that doesn't go against states' rights. And we need to think about how we're going to put this. Look, let's realize something. When we know that it's a matter of time before Obamacare or AMA, whatever the fuck you call it, goes into a place where everyone's going to get insurance. It's just a matter of time. You know, that's what the Republicans say. You pass a law that helps people, and they're like, "Oh no, slippery slope." Yeah, right. Slippery slope. And they'll do it all kinds of different ways. But I have a feeling it's going to be like, if employers, you got to pay a tax, and that tax is going to be blah, and that tax is going to be specifically for whatever, and people will pay into it too. But employers have to pay into it, and all of a sudden, everybody's covered. And the reason why they don't want to do that is because the insurance companies are going to be out of business.
Right. They can only do so much. You're right.
The insurance companies do not want to be out of business. But you know what? Maybe you should be out of business.
But not only that, they don't want to pay. That's the other part. You don't want to be out of business, but then when something goes wrong, you don't want to pay. So there is no middle ground with the insurance companies. That makes it even worse, because you can't have a system that's supposed to help you in time of need. But when the time of need comes, it goes, I don't know if we want to cover you for this. Or I don't know if we want to give you this. It doesn't make any sense.
There are many, many different horror stories out there about how people get screwed all the time with their medical benefits. It's just what it is. We could certainly talk about it and figure that whatever, but we're not going to solve this. It needs to be solved by people actually coming together and wanting something to happen. Until there is political will, right, that outweighs the money, this is not going to happen. And I move this over to you because you had an interesting discussion the other day about how Biden is backing off of paying for the student $50,000 per person student loan. And why do you think that happened?
I think it's a couple of things. I think Biden comes from his background. I think is one. I think he comes from this blue collar world where I don't think that he believes that things should be handed to you. I'm not saying it's being handed to people, but I do think there's a little bit to that. And also, I think it's political. I think he knows that there are certain groups of people in certain states that will not like this and would hurt him when it comes to the midterms and the general election. And he's trying to play this middle ground where he's like, hey, guys, I don't want to give them everything they want, but I'll give them, let's say, $10,000. So this way, they'll be happy. They'll get a little bit. It'll help some people, but it won't, just like feel like a handout. I think he's afraid of people thinking that it's a handout, and it turns out where it comes back to bite him later on in general elections or in general. So I think it's a little bit of both. I think he's playing this political game where he's like, there's certain things I'm going to fight for, and I think the certain things he's going to fight for infrastructure, and in that he's going to throw in things like healthcare and childcare and things like that what people need. And I think he doesn't see this as a major priority, and he's going to kick it down the road as much as he can until he gets other things accomplished, and then maybe he'll come back to it based on where the politics of it is at that point.
All right, to that, and I completely understand that the politics of it, like I said, there needs to be political will for anything to happen. Yes, last week, Marjorie Taylor Greene, we had the whole kerfuffle with what was happening in Israel, where people are still having that thing where if you say anything about Israel, you're anti-Semitic. I don't agree with that. I don't have anything against the Israeli people. I have issues with the Israeli government, and that's where I'm going to leave it. Don't send us notes. I don't care. Write to me. There's no discussion here. In fact, this is my bullhorn. I'll say whatever the fuck I want. If you don't like it, if you don't like it, don't watch.
Let the hounds loose.
Zionism is Zionism, period. That's it. When someone is trying to taking your freaking land, Israel does some really shitty things. Do they exist? Do they have a right to exist? Of course they do. Do the Palestinians have a right to exist? Of course they do. Is there an ongoing issue between what the Palestinians were willing, what deals were willing to make? I don't want to get into that because that's not controlled by the Palestinian people. It's controlled by the Palestinian Authority. It's controlled by Hamas and all these other people that are being pushed up by people like Saudi Arabia, who's our ally, right? I want to think about that for a minute. These things could happen. where you can actually create something if you wanted to do it. But you know what? There's a lot of political will against it. And all the stuff that Trump did only exacerbated the situation because he did things that Netanyahu wanted him to do. So that's what I'm saying. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to. I don't care. I don't care.
But not to get political in this stance, but didn't Trump say that this was an easy problem to solve and he'll solve it? It's not solved. It just popped in my head when you said that. It's not solved.
Yeah, he said, "You probably make it solve it. Look at me. Look at me being easy solving problem." Yeah. Oh wait, my heart. So yeah, but whatever.
Right. It's hard to solve something that's been going on for thousands of years. It's hard to just come in one day and just solve it.
But it's not thousands of years, like 100 years. Marjorie Taylor Greene said some crazy shit about the mass being the same as the Holocaust, which pissed people off. And now there's a thing going around, a petition to get rid of her from Congress. That's up to 500,000 people. She's a piece of shit. We know this, but the fact is, she's dangerous, man. She was chasing AOC everywhere 2 weeks ago. It's like, and people are like, "Why AOC? She's a baby." I'm like, dude, this woman's unhinged. Obviously, she's fucking unhinged, right?
Well,
if you were working with someone like this is harassment. If someone was coming up to you and signing your book and throwing it around, she'd be fired in any other job she's had.
Right.
Fired. She's a crazed Karen with a capital K, 2 Ks. Crazy Karen, and she needs to go.
Now, to McCarthy did come out and basically say what she did was wrong and she shouldn't do it, but then he turned it around and basically came after Pelosi in the same statement. So I'm just trying to get both sides of the story.
Meanwhile, what's Pelosi doing? Pelosi's like, minding my own business. Thank you very much. Keep your mask on, asshole. Keep your mask on. And by the way, another Republican was charged under $5,000 for bringing a gun to Congress. Listen, cut it the fuck out. Cut it the fuck out. I've been waiting for someone to get shot in Congress, and then the Republicans would be like, "This person was within their rights to shoot that member," because it's like, "Fuck you." It's like it's coming to that again. I really believe that there's this idea that there's going to be another civil war, but the people who want the civil war are like a third of the country, and once they get armed up, they're going to be shot. Right. That's it. Thank you. Over. Civil war over again. And then in certain states, they're going to be taken over by the federal government and said, "Listen, cut it out. Get your shit together. Put yourself in some kind of order. Cut it the fuck out." And Texas again with seceding. We want to secede. Get the fuck out, bro. Get the fuck out.
The thing about that, and I take this all the way back to the Steve Bannon days, when Steve Bannon used to come on TV when Trump, was first elected. That we got to burn it down. We got to start all over. We got to start this new process. And, we got to get rid of, the elites and all this stuff. But
he's an elite.
Bannon, exactly.
Millions of dollars.
Thanks to Seinfeld. He's got Seinfeld money, everybody. Seinfeld money. That's where he's getting his money from. He's a hedge fund manager that backs Seinfeld. Like this, this is where he's getting his money from. Residuals from Seinfeld. Number one. Number two, if you're going to have this stance and you think the system is corrupt and has to be changed, great. Then what's your plan? That's what I don't understand. Steve Bannon, what's the plan? Or anybody else, what's the plan? You just can't show up to Congress and start trashing the place, without having a plan at the back of it. Like, if you tear it all down, it's a whole process that we got to start all over again, which is not going to be easy. It takes years and years to build up.
Right, but that's the lie. There is no plan. The plan is
I understand.
Democrats. That's the plan.
No, I get it.
The plan is conservative ideology rules. That's the plan. Not that there is anything other than that. That means no abortion. That means, it's really stupid. There is no platform. Just let me be corrupt. Let me do whatever I want. I'm a white guy, from what I understand. And the fact that people are like, well, the cop that killed that guy no, he killed him, period. That's it.
I know.
And there's another cop that shot somebody. His body cam was off. Well, I can't. Fuck you. Go to jail. That's it. Right. That's it. If you do not apply yourself to the community standards, you're not helping the community. You need to get out of the community by going to jail.
Right.
I don't care.
I agree with you.
And that's the other thing.
I agree with you.
We keep talking about white cops, black cops, whatever. I don't care what color you are.
Right.
If you do not adhere to community standards, you gotta go.
I agree. I agree what you're saying. The main problem I have with it is when you have people like Steve Bannon, who are part of the elites already, trying to act like we got to tear the system down, when you feed this type of information without having a plan, without having a concrete idea, when you're in political power to change things, and you're just causing chaos, you're just breeding more chaos, and then you walk away and you're going to be on your boat with your
But
Chinese billionaire.
nobody asked these guys, exactly, but nobody asked these guys what you just said. What's your plan? Fucking Trump. Hey, very good plan. What's your plan? It's good. What is it? You know. No, I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. It's a good plan. What is your plan?
Just give me a plan.
Give me the fucking plan. What is it? Hey, we have documents. These documents don't say anything. They're blank pages. What are you talking about? It's that kind of shit. And then you know, single-sided. One of the plans they had that was this big book was single-sided with lots of filler. It's like, fuck you. Come on.
Right.
You know,
it's
and
just
then
bullet points.
They complain about, you know, Biden not having any energy. Meanwhile, he's getting shit done, and people are getting vaccinated, and we're almost up to 70%, and all this other stuff. What about the border? You know, yeah, the border that was left in the mess. Well, we got to do something about all these hundreds of people. It's like it's the same amount of people as before. We're just not putting everybody in cages. Oh, they're putting them in cages again. Yeah, but it's not. It's because they don't have any place to put them. Would you relax? You can't just decide that shit is okay when Trump does it, but terrible when Biden does it. We understand that things are terrible, period, and we're trying to fix that. That's all. And by the way, again, I'm not just taking Biden's side. I'm talking about working government with a plan. And what's the plan for a working government? That's it.
So what's your thought on what's your thought on the $50,000 Biden idea or non-starter? What do you think? What do you think's the idea behind it?
Oh, you're talking about
the school, the giving $50,000 to people in debt for school and stuff. Because this was a big Democratic platform to a certain point. You know, AOC was pushing it.
A couple people pushed it. It was never his platform. Right?
No, I agree.
He never ran on it. Right.
Right.
I like the idea.
Of $50,000.
I like the idea. You know why? It gets me out of it. It gets my daughter out of it. Right. Her money can go back into the economy. The thing about this about school debt, right? Especially when it comes to specific school debt, and some of it we should really look at it from the point of view of schools charge too much.
Right. I agree.
I think we should look at what schools charge and audit them and say, it looks like you're making 50% profit on these students. You can only make 20% profit on your students. Go fuck yourself. You know, something like that. I mean, look, I'm not trying to stop colleges from making. I'm not trying to stop anybody from making money, but we're being gouged, right?
Right.
I also think that the idea, if that's the case, if you're going to gouge people, gouge the rich people, and then make schools like we were talking about Brooklyn College and let's go make them free. Why not? Right. Hey, you know what? Don't make them all free. Make the community colleges that are in the area. Brooklyn College should be free. If you go to the main state college in Albany, maybe that costs you a little bit more money. But you know what I mean? This is why we have ITT Tech and shit like that. Because you have these things that are like, well, we can get to school. These are all fake schools, man. They don't give you anything. An accredited.
I agree.
Fuck that. Chirp would be an accredited school, accredited business school. It's not an accredited business school. No one learned anything. Go fuck yourself. And that's the thing.
Well, it's the thing like insurance companies. It's the same idea. Once colleges saw that there was money and you can get money from the federal government and they could just keep hiking up the prices and the federal government just keep giving kids loans and kids were just going to take loans, they were going to keep doing it. And there was no cutoff at that point. And now it's just a money game.
We need to start thinking about education as what was thought somebody was saying last week. Hey, make it free from year 1, 0, whatever that is, all the way to 16, right? Which would be 4 years of college, and then make them pay for their fucking for their professorships and their MAs and all that other stuff. That's where the money should be going in the local level, from people who want to go farther up to MA to MFA, any of that shit. Make them pay for that and make it so they can understand. Okay, I want the next level. Next level costs you money. You want to be a doctor, doctorate, the next level.
And that next level, by the way, shouldn't be like $80,000 either for a year and a half. Like, there's no way you should take 2 class semester and be charged $80,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy.
If I think we're going to keep the insurance part of the medical situation that we have now, make insurance companies pay for the fucking doctors. In other words, you want doctors? Fine, you're paying for them. You know what I'm saying? They make billions every fucking year.
I know.
Make them pay for it. And the thing is that we're thinking about this as, well, you know, you're not being fair. Yeah, I'm being completely fair. Fuck you. You got people that need these services, but you're acting as if we have to pay for it. It's like, come on. I know. Look, Jason.
Let it out. Let it. This is your forum to let it out.
We can struggle and fight over how to do something. Again, until we have the political will to do it, and it has to come from you and me and everybody around us. Not have this conversation, Fox News. Fuck you. Let's have an actual conversation that expresses what it is that we need to do in the society, in our society, and then let's move from there. This week, Andrew Yang was on New York One or whatever, and they were like,
the Yang Gang, baby.
What's your favorite train station? And he was like, Times Square is my favorite train station. He's like, Times Square is your favorite train station? And somebody was like, he's not a really good New Yorker. Maybe Andrew Yang just likes the fact that New York City comes together at fucking 42nd Street.
Right.
He's not a real New Yorker. No, he's not from here. You're right. But he has some good ideas.
Were you upset with the Yang Gang when Andrew Yang apparently left during the outbreak of the coronavirus and went to like the Hamptons or whatever for a couple months before coming back to the city? People were upset that he left the city during the height of the coronavirus for a guy who says he loves the city. I agree. It's like, if people have the option, they're going to use the option.
New York, if I had the wherewithal to leave all this stuff and go up to the middle of nowhere for 6 months and have my food delivered to me, guess what I would have done? And the fact is that
work from home with your computer, right? Who wouldn't go to like the Hamptons? But who wouldn't go home to the Hamptons if you have a place in the Hamptons and bring your laptop and just do work from there if you had 2 months off? Let's be honest. Who would do it?
Get out of here!
I mean, come on. Right.
People. What annoys me about people is what they complain about. Look, Richie Rich is going to be Richie Rich, right?
Right.
That's it.
Richie Rich, good cartoon back in the day.
So today, this morning, we've heard some stuff. Speaking of Trump, some of the stuff that Barr was hiding kind of came out, and that smoking gun is getting smokier and smokier.
Did you ever trust William Barr though?
Well, proverbial smoking on Trump camp, giving info to Russia, seen in unredacted records, and this is what's happening. This is I don't want to play this video. Please don't play this video. Jesus Christ. So, proverbial smoking gun in Trump camp, and Richard Maddow reports that it's revealed the newly removed redactions from court documents in the case of Trump. Paul Manafort was basically the connection between Trump and Russia.
Who knew?
We knew.
Right.
And there's even more information and more stuff, but it's being redacted because there's sensitive information in those.
Information, right.
So right. I'm super interested to see what happens next. Because they're fighting to keep the other stuff down, but I can only imagine. And it's Biden that's keeping it down. So there's some serious shit in those documents.
Right. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Now, do you think he's doing it because of the sensitive material? I agree with that. Or do you think it's because he doesn't want to show that he's coming after Trump? I think Biden is very shrewd. I think I think that he's trying to get stuff done, and he's trying to look like there's some kind of bipartisanship. So I think there are certain things he's not going to touch. I agree. But he's trying to do something in that vein. And because of that, there's certain things he doesn't want to touch, at least not right now. And this could be one of them.
Well, I think you're right. And I think that you're right. He's being shrewd. He's being careful. And that in itself is very interesting. And, there's more to come.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's going to be very interesting in the next few years once stuff actually starts leaking out and coming out. So we'll see. But that being said, none of this should surprise anybody. There was a lot of stuff that we knew behind the scenes that were being stopped. I mean, we saw Trump the other day. Trump people were getting phone records from CNN people now. Did you see this? So it's like, why were you doing that? Like, why were you going after certain reporters? Like this is a scary type of thing. This is a scary thing when you.
He can actually the Justice Department can actually go after these people now. You're not supposed to do that.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I you know, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Look, you know, there's a lot of every year a lot of old people die, especially in the South. I'm not saying this because I want old people to die in the South, but I would like them to die as soon as possible because they're the reasons why these people are being voted in. Because people in the South are, you know, black people don't vote. They can't. It's hard for them to vote. Jim Crow was alive and well in the South. And to say that it isn't is a lie. And by the way, you can write to me about that. Write to me about how Jim Crow isn't alive in the South. Go fuck yourself. And that's my answer to you every time you send me a letter that says that. You are crazy. If the lines in Atlanta do not make a point of how many people are disenfranchised, you know, and those lines are just going to get longer, folks. They're not going to get any shorter, and not because they're stopping people from voting, because people are going to vote no matter what now.
Right.
You know,
right.
And you think that your rules are going to make it harder for people to vote? No, because their rules, you got to let them vote, and those people are going to get their shit. And the thing is, like, you can't help anybody vote. It's like, what are you talking about? Those churches, they're just going to send those ballots in.
Right.
He's going to send them in. It's going to be like Santa Claus with ballots. You know, between the hours of 9 and 5. I'm taking a day off just to make sure my ballots get in. So if you don't think that's going to happen, just you wait. The Republicans are going to lose the next election in Georgia.
He said it here, folks. What date
it? It's not. And I'm telling you
May
now,
25th. He said it now.
I'm telling you now. It's going to be like the House. They're going to lose members in the House, but because they're becoming unreasonable. The Republicans and the GOP in the South are becoming and GOP controlled states are becoming unreasonable to the point where things are getting out of hand. Right? They're not letting people vote. Look. I'm going to say some stuff, and it's not, and it's about the cravenness of the Republican Party. When you get so craven that even your base starts to get worried about what's going to happen next, that's when you're beginning to lose power. So you lose power.
So where are you? So that we understand where you're coming from. Where are you seeing this? Because I just saw the other day that 53% of Republicans think Trump is the real president, and Biden's just taking up space.
53% of Republicans that polled. How big do you think the Republican Party is after the 2016 election?
No, I understand. They've lost a lot of members.
A third of those people that were Republicans are now independent.
They have lost a lot of people in that sense, right?
And I bet a third of that have gone to the Democratic Party, and I think that's what's happening now. You're skewing older, you're skewing dumber, right? And these people
you've lost a lot of people. Right, you've lost people.
As time goes on, these people are going to be less inclined to vote for someone like Trump. Whether or not, if you really believe that, if you want to believe the big lie is that they took it from me. No, these ballots weren't in Arizona right now. They're recounting the ballots again,
right?
And they destroyed voting machines because of it.
Right. You know? I know.
And
the guy who's like ahead of, and the guy who wants to be ahead of it, it's like has these crazy conspiracy theories about all this stuff. So it's just weird.
We know, right, that there's a good chance that Trump is not going to be able to run for president in 2002. So
based on health, you're saying, or because he's indicted? Is that what you're saying?
Based on his health, right. And there's going to be a proxy for Trump, which will probably be Florida's governor. I'm a giant asshole, or whatever his name is.
DeSantis?
Yeah, this asshole. Right? Or Brian Kemp. Or Kemp. Which, holy shit, can you imagine? Oh my God.
How do you really feel about these two? So who do you believe? Who do you believe would be a good, viable Republican candidate at this point? A good, viable one that could kind of, lean both sides.
There are lots of Republicans out there that are actually okay. I don't agree with the anti-abortion thing. I think it's a fucking political tool. It's not a real fucking thing, right? When they talk about anti-abortion, when they talk about all the stuff they talk about, it's political. It's not a real thing. Their point of view is it's coerced around this idea of what conservatism is. It's not real conservatism, and that's the problem. when people start talking, when people talk to Republicans, they say crazy shit. And at this point, we can't really discuss. We can't. Come on. Right? No, I mean, seriously. I mean, come on.
I know what you're saying. There's
It's
certain
like
things that if we're not going by facts, then we have a problem. Like, that's a big issue.
radio shows are not policymakers, right? Fox News is just a flag waving, and flag meaning this red flag. This when we start to decide that Putin is as good as a good a friend to America as anybody else, that's when we have problems because he is an asshole. He's a dangerous problem.
Right.
We want to stifle dissent in this country, and we can see it in the things they're passing. They cannot stifle dissent. We have to have dissent is healthy. Even when it comes, look. I'm going to say something. It's going to be crazy, and people are going to be upset about it. I want there to be a voice of nationalism and Nazism in this country. I want that because that's freedom of speech. Now, that being said, your freedom of speech has consequences. And if I were to punch you in the face because you were saying some crazy shit like that, maybe that's
a consequence.
Maybe that's
There's a little bit of consequence to that.
Too,
when my fist hit your face, that was my freedom of speech.
And then again, write to me about that, folks. Happy to fucking whatever. But there's that idea of what. All right. I don't know if there's anything else besides Matt Getz being in lots of trouble, or
What about what I texted you yesterday about the China syndrome thing?
So check this out. There's a story. There's stories going around right now about
right.
COVID-19 and how all the people in a certain lab, that lab in
Wuhan,
got sick
right.
before the outbreak, actual outbreak of COVID-19.
Right.
And there's thoughts that maybe there was something to this thing about a lab. Blah blah blah. Okay. Well, the WHO is still looking into it. I think they're getting a little closer to what's going on. I don't think China is really stopping them from finding out that information. And if it was.
But that being said, they haven't been forthright from day one. That's the problem. That's what's fueling a lot of these type of conversations.
We don't know if that lab is the center of the outbreak, or if these guys got sick and then came to work. Right.
Right.
That's the thing. And China isn't being very. It looks. Let me just put it to you this way: if China weaponized this to be some kind of bioweapon, they lost more people than anybody else.
Right, and they don't know how to handle it. So it's not like they a way.
They actually took care of it much faster than the rest of the world. But
no, I'm saying like at the time, once it got out, if they were using it as a bioweapon, it was causing chaos even in their world. So it wasn't like we just did it and it just didn't affect us. Like
it makes you start thinking about the entire idea of a bioweapon. If anybody else is doing this kind of stuff, they better do it very, very, very fucking carefully. And I know that. Right. Excuse me.
His muscles are flaring up. All the anger he's spewing.
Yeah, they got to do it very carefully because who knows what the hell's going on. So yeah, it's very. I never said it was impossible. I just said it was improbable. But the best thing about that story is. An Asian American organization is suing Trump for $20 billion for using the word Kung Flu and China virus. So anything that hurts him makes me happy.
Well, he is the guy who's always suing people. He's always suing people, so it's kind of like
every Asian American in the United States. What?
He's always suing people for everything, so he shouldn't be surprised.
He always tries to throw shit out, even if it's going to fuck him over. I can't wait. Right. I can't wait for him being helicoptered by being chained up out of Mar-a-Lago. He hasn't come up to New Jersey yet. Have you noticed that?
He hasn't been to Bedminster.
Mar-a-Lago closes in May, and he's supposed to go up to New Jersey. He hasn't gone to New Jersey yet. You know why? Because there are cops waiting for him in front of his golf thing. There's another video going around talking about why aren't you Biden people putting up your support? He's like, because we're not his fans. This woman was like, we're not Biden's fans. We voted for him. That's it. We don't need to freaking put up Biden posters and shit. It's not about that. We don't care that way about him, Karen.
Right.
Please do not put any raisins in the potato salad, Karen. Yo, big thing. I gotta talk about. I got a couple of things to talk about. That has nothing to do with politics. First of all, Dominican food. There's a Dominican place up the block from here.
That just opened?
Yeah, not just opened. It's been there. I didn't know. I got Dominican pasta.
I'm gonna have to now that I'm fully vaxxed, I'm gonna have to hit your spot one day. I'm gonna go over, just tell me a day you're like home, and we're gonna hit some Dominican food.
I'm home Friday. I'm off Friday, and I'm home Saturday. You want to come by here and we go to that Dominican
Friday and Saturdays you're off? Maybe one
no,
day
just this
Saturday.
week because of if you want to stop by on Friday,
because
you don't drive though.
I mean, who needs to drive? I mean, you just jump on a train and you're there in 20 minutes. I'm not afraid of the train. Come on. It's a lifeline.
If I'll pick you up from Hoboken. You can hang out with me for a little while. Up the block from me is a place that makes pastelillos, Dominican pastelillos, empanadas, and they're pretty good. And it has. You know why I know the Dominican? Okay, I walked in and I was getting and I saw they have potato salad. It's the red cabbage potato salad.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Right.
Chopped up red cabbage, potato salad, no raisins in there.
Right.
And they have half a thing. And I was like talking to him. This guy's wearing a hat with a big Dominican flag on it. He has a Dominican flag on his shirt. I'm like, I guess these guys are Dominican.
Who knew?
They got some food. So I'm gonna go check it out and get some rice and beans and some.
My kid doesn't have soccer this weekend, so maybe this is a good weekend to hit you up on it.
Here on Saturday.
You saw the trophy that I had, right? You saw the trophy.
Yeah, you won, man. They give you the free slice.
It's like the Stanley Cup. It's like the Stanley Cup.
Into the pizza place. Slice me right now. Let's go. Free slice.
I felt like Mark Messier winning the '94 Cup, and I'm just like hoisting it around, and people like patting me on the back.
You guys drink from it?
Yes,
put some salsa in it for the kids.
Put some apple juice.
So you're gonna vaccinate speaking of kids, you're gonna vaccinate your kids, man, with the Moderna? Moderna's like 100% effective.
Have they approved? They haven't approved it yet. I have no problems with it.
Moderna was like 100% effective.
Right.
Just bathe your kids in it. Hold them by the ankle.
Right. It's like agua florida. You just throw it at them, and it's okay. The power of Christ compels you.
Yeah, agua florida is witch hazel. And when we were kids, we got used to get slapped on us every chance we coughed. Right. Put it in your feet. I'm like, what are you doing? It's fucking witch hazel.
You got to bathe in it. You have to bathe in it. Yeah.
Oh my God. Our parents are crazy.
Good times.
That's one. Two, which I'm very excited about. Two, have you seen the trailer?
The Eternals?
Yes, the Eternals. No. The trailer for the Eternals.
The Eternals, yes.
Which has all these beautiful people in it. What I was moved by it. So go back to the idea. If you haven't seen the trailer, watch it. There's another trailer called.
I have a question on the trailer, but finish your thought first. Go ahead.
Well, what's your question? Yeah, we can talk about it.
So my question becomes: after watching the trailer, they didn't want to interfere with human lives. They kind of like let humans do their own thing. But Thanos is coming wreaking havoc with basically going to destroy human lives. And they didn't want to pop up and help. It's a little bit far fetched to me. So why would they not want to help when the world is coming to an end at that point?
I don't know.
Like, what's the explanation? They kind of hint at it, like guys saying, we don't want to interfere. But if you're going to interfere, this is the time to interfere. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna talk about the Eternals in a minute, and you're right. But there's a new trailer with Karen Gillan from Doctor Who and Guardians of the Galaxy called Gunpowder Milkshake. And if you haven't seen this trailer, holy F, you should check it out.
Gunpowder Milkshake.
It has all these great, leading ladies in it. It's worth watching. Anyway, Eternals. So, Jack Kirby created this whole freaking giant cosmic ideology. I gotta use my hands because it's so big.
Right.
Understanding of what Marvel comic, the cosmic stories of Marvel comics.
Up there, somewhere up there.
Up there, really up there. There's these things called Celestials, and there was like some of it in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, where you find out that Peter's dad was Celestial, but
and he's got some type of
Celestials
powers.
are
Right.
these giant constructs. They're huge, and they're only here to judge you. That's it. They come down and they have these different things, and they decide, well, if you're okay, we're going to give you a gift. If you're not okay, we're going to destroy you. When they came to Earth, they saw that the Earth was like, and they judged it, and instead they created. There was two races that were created: deviants and the Eternals. The deviants are the bad guys. The Eternals are the good guys. The deviants are demons. The Eternals are angels. And they are part of these. They teach humanity, and they do something. They're not supposed to interfere. They teach humanity, and they do it, but they're not supposed to interfere. And they teach, and then they finally interfere. And Kirby had a lot of love for the dynamics and the thought of Egyptian art and the South American and Central American art of like the Incas and the Aztecs and all that
The
stuff.
Mayans and stuff like that.
Right. The Mayans, you can see that in his work.
Right.
So.
Hence why Selma Hayek is one of the big.
Yeah,
and it's a very diverse cast.
Also,
it's a very diverse
known
cast.
as great casting.
But it's very diverse. It's got a lot of Harold Kumar's in it. One of the Harold Kumar guys are.
That's Kumar.
Great casting.
Kumar, that's nice.
He's no, come on, that's his iconic role. You know, he's like Doogie Howser's always gonna be Doogie Howser, and what he. I know.
He was in The Big Sick. That guy.
Right.
Based on his life, actually.
Is it?
He has a.
That's right.
He has a thing with his wife, a podcast with his wife. That's really funny. If you haven't had a chance to see it, but he worked out. He used to be like.
He's puffed now, like he's huge, right?
Rawr! You can see him online. He's like, "Arr!" And he's like, I'm doing this for the rest of my life. This is what it's me. I'm just gonna work out and drink protein shakes and eat meat. That's it.
Must be nice when you have all that money. Must be nice.
And you're looking at him, right? After you get that Marvel money,
I'm trying to.
Your life changes.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm looking at it right now.
Kumail
Nanjiani.
Kumail Nanjiani.
Yeah, look at it. He's huge. He's like The Rock at this point. It's crazy. I knew he got big. I didn't know he was that big. That's crazy.
Nanjiani, there he is.
He's in Silicon Valley. That's where I know him from. Silicon Valley. Good show, Silicon Valley.
He's really funny in Silicon Valley.
Yeah, it's a good show.
And Kumail, and I'm looking.
That's why he's so good.
Trying to see if I can go through this image in a new tab. There it is. It's tiny.
You know why I was thinking of these guys, Kumar and White Castle? We were having a big discussion at work the other day. This is how big the discussion is. Who was the most famous person to come out of American Pie?
And who do you
that came after the end? Like some guy came up to me and said it, and I was like, I guess Jason Biggs, because he was, and he brought up the guy from that show.
What guy from that show? Jason Bateman?
I'm gonna get his name. Go on with your thing. I'll bring this up after.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can screen share this.
Yeah. What's his name?
You see it?
Yeah, look at him. He looks like a young you.
Look at that. He looks like a young. Look at this guy's arms. Jesus Christ! This guy was a skinny little shit.
I know. Look at him. That's all he's doing is working out now.
This is what he used to look like, and now he looks like this. This went to this.
That's crazy.
Holy Moses! God damn!
That's just you dedicating hours of the day doing that. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't do that overnight. That's you just doing it and drinking shakes, and maybe he.
Yeah,
I don't want to say I don't want to say he took anything, but it's pretty big.
He made a point. He made a point that he didn't want to be a skinny little Indian guy when he was on the show, and then now he's like super jacked. But it's great.
So before I forget, so John Cho, guy from Star Trek and all that. It was brought up that out of the American Pie movies, like who came up with the big? I don't know why this guy came up with this comment, but he came up and John Cho, and I brought up this guy because I'm like, this guy was in Star Trek. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you once you hit Star Trek level, it's like hitting a Marvel level to a certain point. Like now you're known. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I said that. So people thought I was crazy, but then when we thought about it, it was like, yeah, maybe that was one of the biggest guys basically that came out of that show, because everybody else kind of like became big but just disappeared. But this guy kind of went through.
John Cho came out
when
of
you mentioned him. He was a very bit part. Like,
American Pie, MILF guy too.
Yeah, he was just like in it for like 10 minutes, you know.
It's funny because he's 42 or something like that.
Right. Right. Yeah, the movie's
American
like
Pie
20 years
2.
old now.
Milf guy, he was in the American Pie movies. You're right.
Yeah. So when you mentioned the Eternals, for some reason he popped in my head because I was just talking about him, and it just that's where I went to that name for Harold and Kumar, because I was talking about it right before I talked to you from at work.
Harold and Kumar, Escape from Guantanamo Bay. Harold and Kumar, Go to White Castle. Harold and Kumar. I don't even know what the first Harold and Kumar is. Harold and Kumar Goes to White Castle. It's 2004.
2004. Right. That's one of those movies that was, people love that movie. It's like Half Baked,
It's a
a
funny
Dave Chappelle
fucking
movie. Everybody loves that movie too.
It's funny. And he's gay in the Star Trek movies now. Sulu is gay. Which to me is fine. Like, I don't... Like, when you're like, oh, is Sulu gay? Who cares? They don't exist. None of these people exist. You can do whatever you want with them. They don't exist. They're traditionalist bullshit. Who gives a fuck?
Right. Right.
So my feelings about the Eternals is it's wonderful.
Yes.
It's beautiful. It might be maybe the next really beautiful set, like the next thing of Marvel movies, and I'm looking forward to it. Because the Avengers for more or less the Avengers are over, right?
So you didn't answer my question. How come they did not interfere? Is there anything in the comic book that they ever interfered in a big thing?
Yes.
Like
the entire idea of Eternals 1 is that they started interfering. They appeared.
Right.
But Marvel never knew what to do with them. So it was like they were like Icarus and those guys were never like kind of like part of the mainstream Marvel universe. For like Inhumans, they showed up in Inhumans are up in the Fantastic Four, and they're similar characters, and people dig them, but they're weird. Like they're just not. They out X-Men the X-Men, and there's no real connection to them other than whatever. And the Inhumans, like they were like, oh, the deal with the Inhumans is that you are born a regular baby, and you get exposed to this gas that mutates you, right? And some people end up like, Lockjaw,
right?
which is just a dog. You've been mutated to a dog, or what's his name from the royal family? Who can't speak, otherwise he'll destroy mountains. So, yeah, I mean, how do you fucking write?
So you think because the Avengers kind of world is over, they're gonna go to the Eternals route now and use them as the next kind of like Avengers in a sense?
I have no idea. I don't know.
I'm trying to pick your Marvel brain at this point.
What would I do if I was if Kevin Feige?
If you were the head of this whole Marvel universe at this point, what would you be doing with the Eternals?
I wouldn't want to head up the whole Marvel universe. Give me the DC universe.
Really? Look at that. He wants to start with a brand new baby and create it from scratch.
I would say this about Kevin Feige and the Marvel universe and where that stuff is going. I trust Kevin Feige. I think he knows what he's doing. I think the people he has I'm working with them are all very much in tune with what's going on. I think they have a plan,
right?
And I think that the plan is going to involve the next level is going to involve an extension of the universe, and that's happening by involving Shang-Chi, by Multiverse of Madness, the Doctor Strange movie, by introducing new characters in a new Black Widow, a younger Black Widow in the Black Widow movie, her sister. This kind of shit. Will there be an Avengers movie? Maybe. But do we need one? Not really.
Right.
And this is the last Guardians of the Galaxy movie with James Gunn, and the last one with Bautista, who's leaving. He says he can't keep taking his shirt off, man. I'm 52 years old, bro.
Yeah, he wants an act now. He wants to be an actor now. That's what.
Yeah, an actor. Yeah, Army of the Dead. He was acting like an Army of the Dead.
Right.
That's okay.
He wants to challenge him role.
That's okay. You know why? Because The Rock. Maybe my favorite actor right now is The Rock. And what does he do? Make a couple jokes, blow something up, goes home. All right.
Right. He goes to Hawaii, relaxes. Yeah.
Blow some stuff up, goes home. And that's fine. Bautista could do something. He was a great villain in the Bond movie. Shit, he was like unstoppable.
Yeah. Right.
So give me more of that. I'm okay. So have you seen Army of the Dead?
No, I did not. It just came out this weekend, right?
What's your job, dude?
Army of the Dead.
What's your job?
But it did. Army of the Dead. It didn't come out yet. It's not
It
like
came out this weekend.
that's what I'm saying. It just came out this weekend. I just told you.
Where are you?
You're putting me on the spot. I felt like I was in SVU for a second there. What did I do wrong? Just I'll write the confession. Leave me alone.
Yeah, leave me alone. I did it. All right.
I did it. I just did it.
All right. So I saw it. You want me to get? I'm going to spoil it. Okay.
Go ahead. Spoil it.
Spoilers.
I told you. That's not going to bother. I'm still going to watch it. Right.
Yeah, you should, because it's dumb.
Yeah.
So first of all, it's dumb. All right. That's one. Right. And if you thought this was going to be an intelligent movie, wrong movie. So what's great about it is, I'm not going to tell you what happens. Just like there's zombies in fucking Vegas. That's it. You want to see what goes on there. Anyway. There's like alpha zombies and beta zombies and all kinds of the shit. Whatever. Who cares?
Like I Am Legend type of thing. They're just coming after people.
Yeah. Well.
Or World War Z type of thing.
There's an alpha zombie that bites other zombies, and when he bites those zombies, doesn't eat them. He bites them. They become like him.
Okay.
Which means they have some intelligence, and they follow leadership and whatever. Then there's the other zombies who are just zombies, and they're more like feeding machines, and they act like bats. They just stay in dark places and stay there until they go to sleep. So, sorry.
And this happens in Vegas, right? This takes place in Vegas.
Vegas becomes a city, and they're going to blow it up. And then there's a heist involving going back to Vegas and going to a safe and getting $50 million, and then blah. Okay, that's the story. And
is that true?
The actual opening sequence that basically shows you the characters is more interesting than the movie itself. But I'm okay. I'm okay with popcorn movies. It's a popcorn movie. It's fine. There's a zombie tiger.
So there is a heist, just like in the movie, like in the old Sammy Davis Jr. movie that they remade. Like there is a heist to try to take the money from the slot machines, even though people are zombies. There is a heist.
It's like Rick and Morty say.
Who's the George Clooney of the heist world?
I'm in. What?
Batista is George Clooney in this movie. Is that what that is?
Yeah, with machine guns. And the zombie tiger. Don't forget the zombie tiger, everybody.
Of course.
Everybody happy. I mean, Jukaran was very excited. I see you, Jukaran. I see you. By
the way, I was in Vegas when the tiger mauled had that incident with yeah. I was like, I was staying in the Mirage. It was very.
Oh my God.
People were crying. I was like, "What's going on?" Because I was just like walking around checking sites, and then I come back to this chaos. I'm like, "What is happening here?" There goes my
ball. That's what happened. Jesus Christ!
This is crazy.
It is. 6 feet in Roy getting mauled every day.
That was it. They just kind of disappeared. You never saw them after that.
Well, one of them died, dude. I mean,
no, I know, but I'm just saying, like you never saw
you never were doing any tiger stuff. He died too. Both of them are dead.
Yeah, but it was very dramatic.
It's very sad, actually, when you think about it. But that's the thing. These are dangerous animals.
Right.
They're not kids or whatever. And then when you watch it on Tiger King, you're like,
"What are you thinking?" Right.
All I'm saying is that she obviously killed her husband.
Right. That's the theory, folks.
Not allegedly.
Allegedly, right. Innocent until proven guilty.
So there is that. Anyway.
And you a Tiger King? I never took you as a Tiger King type of guy. You a Tiger King guy?
Dude, we were trapped. Definitely trapped out there. We had to do something. So yeah, so I have no problem with the show. That movie, it was like double crossing and crossing and all kinds of shit, and then things happened and people died and whatever. It was fine.
Right. So you don't give it. It doesn't sound like you. It doesn't sound like you want people to. It doesn't sound like you were like go out there and buy tickets to go see this movie. Wait till it comes on like in cable.
If I was on a date, if it was like I was on a date with somebody, I was like, oh, we want to see zombie movie in the theater. You want to see zombie movie? And they were like, yeah, let's go see it. I'd go see it. Now, that being said, because it's on Netflix,
right?
I could have easily said, let's just get some hoagies and watch it at home.
But that being said, that's a cool girlfriend right there. Let's go see a zombie flick. Like you don't hear, that's not something like you really come out.
Cool. Oh yeah, that's a cool girlfriend. Right.
Yeah, if you got a girl that says go see a zombie flick, then you're like, this is a keeper. This is a
I'm
keeper.
thinking that's your wife, right? Your wife would do that, right?
Yeah, she would. She would.
No! Working it out. I know a lot of women that wouldn't go see a zombie movie, but I know a lot of women who would, and those women put out. So,
hey now,
I'm kidding. They'll put out anyway. Hey, listen, folks, it's jokes. These are jokes.
It's a joke, son. You missed it.
Jokes, folks.
Like Foghorn Leghorn said, it's a joke, son. You missed it.
Oh man,
it's a chicken hawk, son.
The chicken hawk, son. It's the chicken hawk. I always like the fact that dog was from Brooklyn. Like, you know, I say, you know, he's doing all that shit, and the dog's like, listen,
right. He's too cool for this.
Yeah, listen, come here, kid. I'm going to tell you something. You know, so it's sports, man. What's going on with the Brooklyn Nets?
You should be talking more about the Knicks game. Did you see the Knicks game on Sunday night? That was a great game. It was a great back and forth game. They went down to the fire. Well, they let fans back in, so it was a pretty packed crowd at the Garden. So for the first time, you got the energy back in Madison Square Garden. It felt like '92. Like this is the thing. Exactly. I'm a basketball guy, but I'm more into that old school basketball, the 92, 93, 94 Knicks, where, you know, defense, Charles Oakley punching you in the mouth, knocking Jordan to the ground. They get up and they fight and they get in each other's faces. Like, that was more intense. You know, the whole 140, 120 games do nothing for me, right? So this had that intensity feel where the Knicks were playing defense. The crowd was behind them. They did lose on the final, like, bucket pretty much. But it was just good to see that back and forth again where, like, the refs kind of let them play. And there were a couple of questionable calls, but they let them play, and you felt the intensity in the Garden again. It's something you haven't felt in a while, especially because of COVID. But basically, because the Knicks haven't been that good in the last 10, 15 years. So you haven't felt that intensity. So like LeBron said, and I give LeBron credit for saying this, you know, NBA is better when the Knicks are in the playoffs and playing well, and it's true because it just adds a whole level of excitement to the league.
When I heard they were in the playoffs, I was surprised. Because, as you know, they've been terrible for a long time. They got,
and they were bad, and they were bad in the beginning, and they came on at the end. Like, they were bad in the first.
Well, I mean, they're a younger team. A couple of the guys have been removed that need to go, and I think I've said this more than once. I kind of feel like until the management decided to get rid of a couple people coming on, Anthony, and move towards a younger, you know, thing, and having younger players that are able to hit those 3-pointers and able to hustle and stuff like that. And I know that we want to keep people on for as long as possible, but this is a young man's game, man. Young man's game, and it should be, like.
I can't. And you mentioned the Nets. I can't get behind the Nets. I just can't. Like, even though they're not too far away from me, and I could probably go see them anytime. I don't like that they're, you know, trying to buy a champion. I've never been the guy who likes buying championships. That's why I don't like the whole, you know, LeBron stuff and what he does and what he did with Miami and stuff. Jordan would have never done that. Jordan would have basically died with the Bulls, or, you know, in this case, Washington. Like, when Jordan came back, he could have gone anywhere. Why did he go to Washington? You know what I'm trying to say? I mean, of all teams to go to, why
he wanted to own some of that. That's why.
Right. No, I agree with that. But also, he did it with you know, I'm going to try to build something, even though he was at the end of his career. I'm going to own this, but I'm going to build something at the same time. Like, that's his mentality when it comes to it. And I respect that when you're that great. So that's why, you know, a guy like LeBron has never really, like, you know, I appreciate his talent. I appreciate what he does, but I can't appreciate how you're chasing rings in that sense. Because if you're that good, you'll find a way eventually. You don't need to, like, have super teams. So because of that, the net thing just doesn't do anything for me. You know, you didn't need to get Harden. You didn't need to get, you know, all these guys. But it is what it is. They're going to probably make it to the finals, but I hope they lose.
They're playing the Celtics, and they beat them. They beat them pretty solidly. Right. And then today's the 7:30. There's a new game. So in about
I think the big three score like 80 of the 100 points or something like that. So that's how crazy it is. See how that does nothing for me. I want to see, like I said, defense. I want to see, like, the guys off the bench, the Steve Kerr's, like, back in the day, hitting threes. You know, that type of stuff exciting me. I don't want to see.
I really, when I watched basketball, when I was really into basketball, it was the 3 years. I think it was 92, 93, 94.
Right.
or 94, 95, 96, whatever it was, where every year the Knicks and the Bulls would win to the playoffs, and you knew no matter what, the Bulls were going to win. But it was just fun watching those games.
Right.
It was fun. You know,
plus you had Indiana that was good back then, who was always causing trouble. Like there was always these other teams around, right?
Man.
Right.
You know, but the Bulls were fucking that team. That Chicago New York dynamic that happened every year for years, like I think 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
You saw that, and you were really it was intense and it was fun, right? And it was enjoyable. It was enjoyable to watch those fucking. I mean, I haven't seen the dance. You know, that whole thing documentary about the Bulls.
I was gonna say you should see it. It's a really interesting documentary.
I'm gonna watch
it. It flies by. It's it's not like a long. Even though it's like what 8.
It's not even that many hours. Like 4 hours, something like that. But
yeah, right.
You know, I'm looking for. I'm actually been waiting. I'm pacing myself. Right. I'm watching all the comedies first. No. But the fact is that that's it's good, man. It's good. Basketball is good. The Bulls are great. I made a joke about we made that joke about
right
Game of Thrones being the '93 Bulls or whatever at the end of it.
Yeah,
and people think that's funny, but the fact is it's true. That team was unstoppable, and they might have lost a game. When they lost against the Knicks, you were like, they're not gonna do it again. Like it was blood. It was blood, man.
What's great about the documentary is that you see the inside mind of like what drove Michael Jordan, which is like you as an outsider, as a fan watching, you either like him or hate him depending on if he's on your team or not, but you don't appreciate greatness until you see that every day that Jordan stepped on the court, he was using something to motivate himself. Whether that be somebody says something in the media, whether that be he didn't like, somebody pumping a fist in the wrong way. He was even at times making stuff up that guys are like, I never did that, but like he was doing that just to pump himself up to get to a certain level that like it's not very easy to reach, and he would do it, and you got to admire that.
And the guy was like, we call him Magic Johnson and all this other stuff. How they were wonderful players and stuff, Larry Bird and what have you.
Right.
But there was an ease to Michael Jordan.
Right.
That was like almost. It was amazing. Like his layups, his rebounds, everything. It was just like his hook shots, all that shit was just like amazing. And how people talk about now, like LeBron or whatever. LeBron's mechanical.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You're right.
There's nothing wrong with him. Nothing wrong with it. And I'm not saying that he's not a great player, and I'm not saying that he's not fantastic or anything. But he doesn't have the grace that Michael Jordan has. And a lot of like you could say the same thing about Olajuwon. You could say the same thing about
there was an ease to their game.
Yeah, like Jabbar was floating out there, man.
Right.
These guys were just like they were big, they were tall men. But they had hustle, and they just it's almost like a brute force now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. I agree.
And it works. It works. It gets you games won and whatever.
That's why I admire guys like Curry, because he's a smaller guy, he's a jump shooter, but he understands the game. He understands. Look, when it comes to basketball, like I've always had this, back and forth with people that I like more the college game more than the pros, because the college teams that win normally are playing good fundamental basketball. They're doing the little things. They're doing the right passing. They're hitting the guy at the right time. They know where to position themselves. And that to me is refreshing in any sport. Like, for example, like I get really into watching college softball, like women's softball.
Oh, man, that's awesome. That's an awesome sport.
These women know how to play. Like they're not like it's not brute force. It's not like overpowering. These girls know how to bunt. They know how to go the other way. They know how to take pitches.
Right.
Everyone knows their role, and they're playing their role. And it's refreshing to see solid defense and solid play. So, and then when I turn on to watch like the men's college World Series, I'm like, and I go back to the women playing softball because I see a fundamental game that they're playing. And it's the same thing with college basketball. When you play the game fundamentally right, it's poetic. You know what I'm trying to say? And Jordan and the Bulls had that. They all knew their role. They knew who Jordan was. They knew who Steve Kerr was. Pippen knew what he needed to do. Like everybody had their role, and nobody.
It was flawless. It was
worked.
really. And the fact is that we're talking about poetry versus brute force. The Knicks of that time were the brute force team.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They had a fucking really tall center, a really big ass center, Patrick Ewing, who was just like forcing the ball down the court. It's
right.
You have to see if you can get your hands on these games, and they could probably see them online. You could see them, and you could see it in The Last Dance. But the fact is that there was a very different dynamic, and that's what made it fucking interesting.
Right.
As a Knicks fan, I knew that they were going to lose. I had to watch it anyway. You know why? Because I had a dog at that time that I had to walk every day.
Yeah.
And I would walk the dog and listen to the game on my headphones.
On the transistor radio.
My transistor radio. I had it tied to my head. And you dance it to my head.
With a giant antenna coming out the side of it.
I love the guys in the old baseball movies or whatever. You see a guy with a transistor radio in his ear. He's listening to the game.
Yeah. It's true.
But yeah, I would listen. I'd be like, "What are you doing?" I'd say it, and I'd be like walking the dog and yelling, "What are you doing?" But it was, it was fun, right?
Right.
It's fun.
Right. I agree.
And basketball should be fun, just like what's his name on fucking your enthusiasm.
Oh, Curb Your Enthusiasm? Yeah. Right.
Still laughing about that episode.
That was a great episode, I'm telling you.
That was a great episode. What do you mean? That was a shitty catch. This him being naked in Mr. Softy Truck was really fucking fun. That's pretty.
He also came up with the Seinfeld episode, which is funny. When Keith Hernandez came on the show, remember that episode on Seinfeld?
Oh, spit.
When they did the whole JFK thing? Yeah,
that was really awesome.
That was a great episode.
They were pretty good, those guys. They're pretty.
Yeah. Pretty. Yeah. They had something going on there, right?
How's Larry Sanders? How's Larry really like? All right.
Right.
All right. So, I think we're running out of steam. I'm a little surprised.
No, we've been going on for a good hour right now. We've been breaking it down.
Yeah, breaking it down.
It's because it's Memorial Weekend coming up. Like we're trying to unwind and think about that. And any plans for the Memorial Day weekend or no?
I got I'm a contractor, as you know. Right. My contracting gig is telling me that I cannot work Monday. I cannot work Friday or Monday.
You can't? It's something you can't?
They're sending everybody home. It's Friday. They have a 4-day weekend. So
why not? Why not?
Why not? Because they told me not to work.
No. I'm just saying that's probably the company saying, enjoy life a little bit, have a little bit of fun, do something.
Yeah, but I don't get paid if I don't work, dude. So it's like enjoy life. I don't get paid.
I understand.
So I mean, that's what it is. Right. So I don't know. I think this weekend I'm gonna probably Friday I'm gonna see my doctor. I go to see a therapist. I'm gonna see my therapist.
Right.
And then I'm probably gonna I don't know. I might go into the city. I might go into the city and just go into the city. Like on Friday or Saturday, if you're not stopping by, I might just go in the city.
Well, like I said, I'm off I work on Saturday, but I'm done by 10:30 a.m. Right. So if you want to do something, just let me know. Take the bus to Jersey, baby. Let's go to Jersey.
Come out to beautiful downtown.
The dirty Jersey. Dirty
Jersey, downtown North Park. And we'll get some Puerto Rican, Dominican food, and you can hang out and see the dogs that aren't mine.
Nice. That sounds like a good plan. I might just do that. hang out and get some Dominican food.
Yeah, get some Dominican food. See the place. Which would be nice. It'd be nice to have you.
Yeah.
We're making plans, folks.
See, this is what we do. We connect in this show in many different ways.
It's not just whatever.
In many different ways we connect on this show.
So, I got my money from the state of New Jersey, by the way. New York kept my money for some reason, but I got my tax return. And I'm trying to think of what I got. I'm thinking of going to California in July, maybe.
Oh, you changed it to July now?
Yeah, maybe July. Well, I can't. I was going to go July 4th weekend, but I have a show to go to, as you know. So it's probably going to be later in July.
When in July?
I don't know when. I don't know. We'll see. Before the fire start, definitely.
I'm serious. Let me know because the missus has wanted to go, so it might be a good way to kill two birds with one stone, and we can all go out there. Who wants
to go?
Mrs. Charlene wanted to go.
All right.
She's been asking me.
Are you going to Airbnb it? If you're going to go, you're going to Airbnb it, or are you going to?
She likes staying. I'm gonna get a little posh here, right? I'm gonna get a little posh. She likes staying at the Lowe's down right next to the theater where they do the Academy Awards. That Lowe's.
Oh, down by. You want to go down Hollywood?
She likes that one. It doesn't mean we have to, but she likes that one because it's like literally it's like an exit away from our cousin. Literally, it's like an exit and a half away from our cousin. From our cousin. Literally, you just jump on. It's like 2 exits away. Yeah, because Universal's like an exit away, and he's like a couple exits away from Universal. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Literally. No, you're right.
Because it's like an $8 Uber ride. Literally, I've done the Uber. It's like $8. I'm there.
It's funny that you want to stay down there in the den of iniquity. But what's really cool about it,
I'm not saying that too. I'm saying that's where we've stayed.
What's really cool about that is that the bar where Kevin Smith does his thing is down there.
So is it?
He's doing a show. I might go check it out live.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and I have friends that sneak me to Disneyland, so maybe I'll do that.
Oh, there you go. This sounds like a plan. Awesome. My story of that whole area is like your brother we go out one day and we eat. I forgot what we ate, but I was not feeling good that night, and I'm like, man, I gotta get some KO Peptate because my stomach is just bothering me, and I think I'm gonna this is going to be a non-stop flood if I don't stop it. So I'm walking around 3:00 in the morning, walking around with, hookers around and Mickey Mouse characters. And I'm just like, where can I find KO Peptate? I'm asking these people, where can I find KO Peptate? So I can knock this out.
7-Eleven right now.
Yeah, that's what I had to go in. And I'm like, because you want a beer? I was like, no, this is all I need right now. Just give me this and I can get home. And luckily, it stopped everything. But
yeah,
that's that. I like to be near some type of civilization in case incidents like that happen.
Well,
you're stuck somewhere in the middle of nowhere.
What I was saying is, look, LA.
So your brother does have a Ralph's right
down the road.
LA
is a problem. Yeah, by a Ralph's. It's only 24 hours. Right. He lives right by one.
Right.
My sister lives right by a Ralph's, which is like why I end up sleeping with him. But I don't have to do that. I mean, if you want, we can go in the middle of July, and just chill and shit. I wouldn't mind doing that. Going out there.
Out to the missus. Because I like going when, exactly. I like going when it's summer, so you can just enjoy,
go to the beach.
That's the great thing about Los Angeles. LA has a lot of bad things to it. Traffic mainly. But the great thing about exactly. The great thing about Los Angeles is that 3 hours any direction and you're like in a whole different part of the world. Like, you can go to the mountains in 3 hours, you can go to Vegas in 3 hours, you can be in San Diego. You don't just say you go to Mexico soon. Like, it's everywhere you go, it's just 3-4 hours and you're in a whole different,
I actually want to go. One of the reasons why I want to go is because I want to go to the Joshua Tree.
I wanted to do that too. See, this is the itinerary is just working itself at this point. You see what I'm saying?
I want to see Joshua Tree. And
I did too.
I want to stay overnight. Like, I want to camp there
under the stars.
Yeah, because David, and I know that David has a tent.
Let's do it! Oh my god, this is becoming a great trip.
Jason's so happy.
We're gonna be hanging out in the truck. We're gonna be playing U2 all day long. This is gonna be great. It's gonna be great. That's the song of the week. U2 is a song of the week, baby.
Which one? There's so many.
That's true. It's a beautiful day.
He's going a beautiful day. All right, that's okay.
Josh, and what else? Joshua Tree and what else? So Disney, Joshua Tree, and what else?
Disney, Joshua Tree, and if we go to Disney, that's going to be insane.
We have to.
Because Star Wars, right?
Right.
And Avengers. I think the Avengers thing's going to open too.
By July.
Yeah.
Joshua Tree, Disney, and then we go to Vegas and visit Ralph in his new place.
Oh, but the unfortunate thing, what?
Oh. Our cousin Ralph, he got this bachelor pad out in Las Vegas. He bought a house down there.
Ralph who?
Our cousin Ralph. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to. Ralph from East New York, Ralph.
Oh, Ralph.
Yeah.
Now I know what you're talking about.
Not Ralph, the owner of the stores.
Now we're going. We're also going to Vegas. Doesn't David has a thing there too, right? Yes,
Does he still have that?
I think so.
This truck that he was walking around, is that a camper on the back?
I have no idea. No one knows what he's doing. He's always doing something. You know what I'm saying? Like that's good. I don't have. It's not like I'm saying don't do it. I don't care. But it's like he's always doing something. That's good for him, man. I'm glad he's living his best life.
He's living the dream. Some would say he's living the dream.
Some would say he's living
a nightmare. Some could say the nightmare.
Some would say. So did your dad and mom are taken care of as far as COVID is concerned? You know everything's opening up.
I took my mom myself because she was waiting for them to come to the house thanks to your mom, and I'm like, they're not coming to the house, so let me take you myself, because if you wait here, it's gonna be 2023 before anything happens. So I had to go myself and literally take her myself. But one shot down, one to go in like 2 weeks, and that's it.
Okay, good. And then you're gonna I think AstraZeneca is saying that their thing's good for kids too. AstraZeneca from the Jetsons, folks. And also,
everything's opening. Everything's opening,
and it's good, and that's good. And there's still people like, I don't need this. I'm going to be taken. I want everyone who says they don't want to get a vaccine to get fucking sick. That's it. That's all I want. That's it. You're not gonna. Good. I hope you get fucking sick. You know why? Because fuck you. And also, what are you doing? What are you? It's like this idea is vaccine. So I'm on a dating app, right? Some personal shit here, folks. I'm on a dating app, flipping through a dating app. I'm like, oh, look
Bumble? You're on Bumble?
What's going on? I don't know. Something. I don't know. Seriously.
Not that we're advertising here. We're just saying.
Yeah, I'm like, you want to pay me money, Bumble? I was on Bumble. Always on Bumble. I'm always using Bumble. I don't like Bumble. I had been using it, but they want me to pay to have somebody say, I don't want to date you. Which I was like,
right. So don't date me. Right. Get out of my face.
Yeah, out of my face. So I'm flipping through the app. And this woman's like, "Oh, I like people who are smart and believe in science." And the next thing under that is no vaccinations, and I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here! What are you talking about, you dummy?" It's like, I believe in science and being smart, and I'm not getting vaccinated. You just decided that what you mean is I'm ignorant. I want only ignorant people to get involved with me. It's like, what?
Now, some people will say I already got the COVID, so because of that, I've got immunity to it, so I wouldn't have to take.
That's not how it works.
I'm just saying this might be her theory.
It's how much you get of the COVID.
Right.
So it's like, I got COVID. Oh shit, I got it again. Oh, why? Because it's more. There's more.
Right.
Otherwise, why did Trump get vaccinated?
No, he did it real quick. When he had a chance, he got it.
Why did he get vaccinated?
But that being,
don't tell anyone. Makes me look bad.
And it depends on how much of the COVID you got in you.
Right.
Like, you can get a little bit of it; it doesn't affect you. But if you got exposed to like somebody coughs in your face or something, then it's a little different.
It depends on the load, the viral load of COVID.
Right.
What we seem to understand. If you get a bigger dose of it, bad things can happen to you. So the idea is, let's just get fucking vaccinated. That way we won't have to worry about this shit. And by the way, the CDC say, if you vaccinate, don't wear a mask. I'm wearing a mask for a little bit. Thank you, CDC.
Oh, I agree. Whether I'm taking a train or whatever.
I'm wearing a mask.
I agree. At least for a while, right? I agree.
I'm going to get a booster shot. I'm going to wear a mask. You know why? Because even though I got a booster shot, I got my flu shot, and I got a booster shot, and I got my pneumonia shot, I'm going to wear a mask. Because it seemed to have worked for me. And the people say that masks don't work. Guess how many flu? We had something like 2,500 flu cases this year. That's it.
Right.
And something like 5% of that died. So wear a fucking mask. I'll do yourself a favor.
Hey, you preach it to the choir.
It's just
why not do something that can just.
I'm gonna wear a mask. I'm gonna wear a mask anywhere there's a lot of people. At work, maybe not, because everyone. And by the way, people should be like, if you're gonna work here, you gotta get vaccinated. If I was a boss, I'm like, are you getting vaccinated? Well, that's you can't work here. You can't work here. Sorry, not in this department. We'll find you someplace else to work, but you can't work in this department. You know, or whatever. This is ridiculous. Everyone needs to be vaccinated. Oh, well, what? I don't want to get vaccinated. Then don't work. Then don't go to work for people that want to be. Don't do it.
Right.
Just don't. I mean, come on.
Just know when you go to school, like you need like 85 shots before you go to school. You got to be vaccinated. You know what I'm just saying? So it's like this isn't anything new in any capacity.
Exactly. It's like I don't want my kids to go to school because you have to get vaccinations, and that causes you don't know what you're talking about. You're not a fucking doctor or a scientist. Yeah, you did your research on YouTube. Fuck you. Right? Let's face it. Fuck you. Research on YouTube. Fuck you. I hope you get herpes. It's fucking hideous.
You too. It's a beautiful day.
I hope you get herpes, you dummies.
Joshua Tree can't come soon enough. Good times. Uh-oh. I think that's the system trying to shut us down.
I think it's over. Right.
So we had a good run.
We've been out for an hour and like 10 minutes or whatever. I think.
Yeah.
I think we're good. Unless we have anything else to talk about. You got anything else, man?
We explored it out. No, I think we'll have good stories next week after our Saturday excursion.
After your Saturday excursion?
After we eat the pastelillos.
Yeah,
after we eat the pastelillos.
Pastelillos!
Or what is that? Franklin's barbecue behind you? Is that where you're going?
What?
Is that Franklin's barbecue?
It's El Jefe. It's El Jefe. Have you watched the movie Chef?
But they're going into Franklin's barbecue.
Right, because what they do is they bought. You have to see the movie Chef. Okay. You have to see the movie Chef. Everybody from Iron Man is in that movie. It's awesome.
I've heard of this
again. Actually, it's such a good movie. It's a family picture, except for the F words, and you should see it. It's really good. It's really a good movie. I'm telling you.
Okay.
If you're on a plane, you go to California. What?
That's where I'm going to see it. I'm going to download it.
This guy, John, what's his name? Plays this guy who is a chef, and he's working for he's working for a guy who's running a restaurant, and he's like, "We gotta try new things. And the guy's running the restaurant is like, "No, we gotta keep it like this because that's gonna work." And then he gets a bad review, and it messes him up, and he decides that he doesn't want to do this anymore, and he wants to do something else. He builds a food truck, and the food truck is he's making Cubano sandwiches. And they're really good Cubano sandwiches, right?
Right.
So you get to see him make Cubano sandwiches. It made me. I watched this movie and it made me get a sandwich press so I can make my own paninis.
Nice.
And this week, I'm going to. As a matter of fact, maybe we'll do this. I'm going to bake I have a ham shoulder that's already been spiced, whatever.
Right.
I'm going to put it in the oven and cook it. And then what I do is I cut in half and freeze half of it, and then put the rest of it in the refrigerator. And I can make Cubano sandwiches with it. Chipotle.
Nice. Look at you.
Chipotle Cubano sandwiches. So maybe
we'll put some
food over there, and maybe I'll make some Cubano sandwiches. See what happens.
See this guy's itinerary is just exploding at this point.
But seriously, if you're stopping by, let me know when.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I'll let you know in a couple of days.
All right, folks.
It's a beautiful day.
Let's go Nets. Oh, you didn't say anything about the Mets, though.
They're having troubles. Everybody's hurt. Like 18 players are hurt. This is like the first time in like Major League Baseball history that 7 of the 9 opening day starters are on the DL, and like 17 players are in the injured list. It's basically like the replacements at this point. It's crazy. They're still in first place, which is crazy. But like every time you look up, they only score 1 run a game because they got all these minor leaguers in it. So it's hard to get excited.
Place.
Yeah, but like I said,
why? Doesn't make any sense. How they
the whole division is under 500. That's the problem.
Yeah, well.
I'll take it. I'm just worried that everybody's getting hurt. Like another guy got hurt yesterday, slamming into a wall. Like it just every time I look up, somebody's getting beamed or hit or bloody noses. It's crazy.
The Cardinals are doing really great. Padres, holy shit.
The Padres are young. They're a good team. It should be interesting. Maybe California will hit a Dodger game.
I'll go to Dodger game with you.
I've been
to. You and Dave, we'll go to Dodger game. Leave the ladies on their own in the pool.
Yes, exactly.
We'll see a game. Eat some hot dogs. Yo, hey, batter. And have people go, what are you doing? Is that Jerry Seinfeld? Hey, Jerry.
Exactly. Swing, better.
It's swing, yeah. And you know what's funny is that, we're old, dude.
Good times.
I was thinking at one point. I was thinking about back when I was, about 2 years ago. I was thinking about, hey, go to California. Maybe I'll find, a place to live. Maybe I'll, and I was just thinking about it, not out loud or anything. And then the next time I went, Dave was like, "Yo, you here for interviews? What are you doing?" What? You want to get some interviews, Mom?
He's desperate for
He was
somebody
asking
to
me
go
about
over there.
moving out. I'm like, I don't think.
Yeah.
I'm just here to see what's up, man. I just,
Yeah. I know.
maybe, whatever. Oh, the interview's though, right? Get a job here. Get a job. It's like Dave. I was like, Dave, where would I live? We'll get you a place.
Yeah.
Come get Godfather.
He knows people.
He knows people, right? Get you a place. All right.
Good times.
It's hilarious. He's hilarious.
I won't tell him with thinking because then he'll never stop talking about it. You got to tell him like a week before so he doesn't like he's like a little kid at Christmas once he knows people are going over there.
Yeah. He's like, oh yeah, dude, really? Puts on his face. Right. All right.
Exactly.
Take it easy. We got our itinerary. We got to hit these places. What
right.
What are you gonna do?
We already got like 4 days packed.
The first thing to do is to hit it in and
out. It's true. The first and last. There's always an in and out right before the LAX. I always hit it before and after and before I'm about to leave. Yeah.
I like flying to not LAX. I like flying to Burbank.
Burbank.
Because LAX is 30 minutes from the valley, and you're like,
it's true. I didn't think about that. I never thought about going to Burbank. Because you're closer to him in many ways, right?
It's closer to everybody, and then you get the hell out of there. Now we're talking about how to get it. You take the 101.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, it's good. All right.
It's a beautiful day, folks.
It's a beautiful day.
Song of the week. We're gonna try and bring more into this. I mean, I can do some. I don't know if you watch Weekend Update. I was gonna close it up, and yet we're still Weekend Update this week is really funny, and they do this thing at the end of every season where Colin Jost and Michael Che give each other jokes to read, right?
Right.
I'm not gonna tell you what those jokes are, but the Michael Che jokes that he writes for Colin Jost are really fucking racist. It's very good, and they're bad racist kind of jokes, really awful.
Right.
But it's like really, you should if you get a chance, check it out. It's really bad.
I will.
All right, folks. Old pals from the internet, signing off. Enjoy this week. Enjoy the weekend. You
enjoy the day off.
Don't let anybody tell you don't deserve Memorial Day. You deserve it. Walk around your house without your underwear on. I don't have kids, so I'm telling them to go fuck off. So tell your kids to go fuck off. Have a good one.
Enjoy. Beautiful day. Have a beautiful day.
Beautiful day.